HSM product portfolio in different areas of operations. You see we have document shredders. This is the part you are very close or you are very informed. Then we have multi-stage shredders. We call them multi-stage because we have a 2-stage or 3-stage shredders with a maximal capacity of 2.5 tons each hour. We have the shredder baler combination. Yeah, so we can combine, for example, a FA500 with 2 different baling presses. We will see more detail. Then we have the baling presses. We split them in horizontal presses and also in vertical presses. And then the big king group, I think is a king group, is the general baling presses. Yeah, general baling presses mean up to a big press with 150 tons for the composable companies, for example. Yeah. Yeah, and so you saw some videos which they work with a forklifter and have a lot of capacity. Yeah? And the next part is the PET. PET, we call them PET. I think you understand under PET, small animals. Yeah, but we say PET, PET. So we mean plastic bottles. Yeah, we have no PET crusher. It's a little bit different, I think so.
Yeah, little.
A little, yeah. But I think it could also works, yeah. And then we have the dewatering presses. I show you some presses, but here we will give you more detail. How do you save your data? It's the question. You see we have data on different kind of material, on paper, on hard drives, on CDs, on films and so on data sticks and so on. So the data are on a lot of different kinds. And so in the new data, DIN, we call them DIN 66399. It's a German DIN, but we use them, I think, all over the world, yeah, because there's no other DIN in this world, and so we can use them. And we have here different between all the different materials, yeah. So we split now in P for paper, we split in O for optical data, for example, CDs or DVDs. We split in magnetic data media, yeah, you see here the old version, the old CDs or discs, and also the credit cards. Then we have the electronic data, electronic sticks, and also electronic cards with a small label there. Then we have information on film and foil, yeah. And the next big group is a very important group for HSM, is the group H. This is a separate group for the hard drives, yeah. So we have 6 different groups. All groups have now security levels from 1 up to 7. And now we adapt now the P for paper, P1 up to P7. And you will also find the O1 up to O7, H1 up to H7, yeah? So different sizes, but the security level is always the same, but the particle sizes are different by different medias, yeah? Yeah. Here, for example, by paper, you will find the P1 with 2,000 square millimeters. Big line, for example, a strip with 12 millimeter wide. Yeah, we don't find, for example, by the security line shredder who shred material in P1. You find them only by big shredders, for example, by the Duo or by the 3 shredder. Yeah? And then we have the P2 up to P7, and you see the P7 is, for example, the highest security level with a particle size of 5 square millimeters. So it means 1 millimeter by 5 millimeter as a dimension. And so we cut one of this piece of paper in 12,500 pieces. And now the dean called, it's not possible to replace the particle. Yeah? By P1, it's possible, it's easy to replace and refix the side, yeah? Because you have only a few lines, a few strips. But by 12,500, it's impossible to replace the part. And so it's a cutting size, very special also for the NSA here in America. And you sell a lot of these machines with this cutting size. Yeah. Okay. The umbrella brand is every time HSM, you see. And then the product lines, for example, is ShredStar. You know, ShredStar is the entrance level for the shredders. Then we have the classic line. The classic line is a line which grew in the last, I think, 20 years. And you will see that there are missing a total the same design, for example. And then new is the security line, and you see we have here a line from the C group, we have B and P group, but all the shredders by security have the same design, the delta windows, and you can see this shredder is HSM because it is very clear this design is only made by HSM. So we can see the shredder in pictures and in other parts and see, okay, this really is HSM Securio. Then we have the power line. Power line means these are machines with three-phase motors. In our case 400 voltage, in your case 208 voltage. Yeah? So we have here a shredder from the classic line, HSM 450, and then we have the conveyor belt shredders 400 and 500, and also the HDS, the shredder for the hard drives. And you also told something about the Profipack, yeah? Yeah. And Profipack we have two. One is the 400 in low voltage and the 425 in high voltage in 208 voltage. For example, 208 means three phases, yeah? You know it. Then we have Primo now, the export branch. Though you are missing here HSM, yeah? But Primo is export brand by HSM. So every customer know that it's produced by HSM, but on the machine you don't find the label Primo, HSM, only the label Primo. Yeah? And then we have the cut line. You saw it in the video and also in the first presentation, and this is the whole production in the office technology, or the whole product range in office technology. Here you see some overview. You see the security line. You see all the machines have the same design with the delta window, and you see the classic line. They're a little bit different. You see some machines with a window and some without window. So it grew in the last 20 years, and the Securio was produced and was developed in a very short time. Yeah. Then the ShredStar is different in the design. You see here the black version with the silver top, for example, and so it's very clear that this is only the ShredStar. And we told something about ShredStar. We need ShredStar for the entrance level, and especially here also in America, it's a very huge market for this kind of machines. Yeah? By Securio, you know, we split in C, in B, and in P. Yeah? C means this is the machine group for the private or for the home office, so we can use the machine up to 1 and 3 person maximum. Then we come to the B line, B22 by up to B32. This machine for the workplaces. I think you will find them in normal offices very often. So we can use the machine with up to 5 person or people. And then we have the large offices up to 8 people. And the professional class is the P, beginning by P36 up to P44. And so we can operate them in floors or in department, yeah. And this is a machine which you can use up to 15 people, yeah. Now we have the Blue Angel. The Blue Angel, I'm not sure if it's very important here in America to have a Blue Angel. You know the Blue Angel? No? It's a certificate in Germany or also in Europe, and it stands for low energy consumption during the working, for example. It stands for durable construction and avoiding of environmental harmful materials. Yeah, and so it's very important label in Europe, I think so. And we have this label now for all security machines. Yeah, and I think you can describe your customer what's behind this label. Yeah, you find this label in Germany on a lot of things. When you buy a bottle of color, for example, you find the Blue Angel on this one, and a lot of products have Blue Angel. And some people are watching to the products. This have a Blue Angel, this have not a Blue Angel, that is better. Yeah, and so it's very important in Germany, for example, and also in some Europe countries. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Here you find a list or a table which I can show you the whole range of Securio. You find here the Securio levels. Here you see P1 is empty. We have no machine who cut P1. We started only with P2. And you are wondering why we have no P3, for example. You have to know that we have a new D now, and the old P3, where we have a lot of machines in the old P3, is split in a new one, because we have the old P3 was 320 square millimeters, and the P4, the old P4, was 30 square millimeters. And now it was a big group, 320 up to 30. And now in the new DIN we split P3 in P3 and P4. And the new P3 is now 320 square millimeter, and the new P4 is 160, the half. Yeah? And our machine was better than 160, and now they all jumped in the P4 now. And so we have in this group no P3 level, yeah? Because we was better in the past also. So you find P4, you find P5, yeah? And also P6, because by this low level, by the small office version C, we stop here by P5, or here we stop by P4. So it makes no sense to have C16 in level P7. It makes no sense, yeah? So you find here everything. You find also the capacity of the bin in liter, yeah? Starting by 25 liter up to 205 liters. And here, this numbers told you how many sheets of paper you can cut in all this, yeah? So you have, I think, a whole overview what kind of options you have in this product range, yeah? It's clear for you. And on the back side, you see the CD, cutting unit, CD or MDD. And you see we have only the options by P36, 40 and 44 to adapt an option with a separate CD cutting unit. Yeah? Okay, then a new novelty 2014 is auto feed unit. So you see the same ZShredder with adapt auto feed magazine, yeah, and we presented them on the last trade fair in spring. And this is possible that you bring on this one AutoFeed AF 150. You bring 150 sheets of paper in the magazine, and the machine pull piece by piece and shred them. Yeah. And the next one is we want to create 300 and also 500 FA3 and FA500. So it means maximum you can put in 500 pieces of paper in a magazine.
Will it just pull one sheet at a time, or does it pull multiple?
Only one sheet. And it's very, very close to the system when you have a copy machine. Yeah. Also take one piece by after the other. But sometimes you have the metal clips, yeah, and they have to bring also two pieces. Right. And that it can bring when you have too much paper clips with the metal clips, then it can be a problem that you can jam here. So you have to be sure that you have only single pieces or only 2 or 3 maximum clipped with a paper clip. Mm-hmm. Yeah? The next one, what we have to do is, when you have put 500 sheets of paper with a high confidential data contained, then you have to stay clear to and close to the machine and have to wait until the paper is shred, because otherwise third person can put away the paper from the magazine. And now we are developing a magazine with a closed system, and though it should be that you bring in the paper and then you can bring in a stick and you get a code. You close the magazine and you get a code on your stick, and then you can put the stick in your pocket, and you are only allowed to open the box and the magazine when there's a jamming, only with your stick and your code. Yeah, this is the next point which you want to develop. Wow. Yeah. Okay, the classic line, you see, reliable, long time proven, yeah, and you see it's grown up in the last 20 years, for example. Normally, it was the goal to replace the classic line with the security line, yeah. But I think dead people live longer normally, or dead cold people live longer, yeah? And they have the problem that a lot of customers and a lot of salespersons say, okay, let us this machine a little bit longer. We want to sell Securio, but we need them in the background and want also sell the machine because here you have sometime a little bit cheaper technology and electronic, for example, and so the salespeople want to have both in a moment. But I think we will leave this kind of range in the next few years and also concentrate on HSM Securio. But I'm not sure when the time is coming. Yeah. Here you find the same list and the same table. Yeah? You see all the machines which we have in this portfolio and all the same logic here, Securio level, and here how many pieces of paper you can shred once, and also the capacity of the bin. ShredStar, yeah. You see ShredStar is a total different design, and we have to have by this design created by our Chinese partner. And so some things are not so very European, yeah. But it looks nice or not so nice. It depends on you when you see that, yeah. You see here very clear S5, S10, X5 means, when you see the list here, S5 means 5 sheets of paper, it's possible, and S means we have Securio level 2. Yeah? When we have X5, for example, we have all the 5 pieces of paper you can cut once, and X means we have Securio level 4. And we have only one machine with X6 Pro. Pro means one level higher. It's the old machine which we can produce level 5. So it's very clear, this system, some machines and only one option. Yeah? Okay, Primo. I told you something about Primo. Now we have new design, the same logic as we have by Securio, the entrance level and the next level, office level, and the DC series, yeah. And you find here the list. It's a little bit mixed. I'm not sure why. We find here the blue one is the version with the own design, and the black one written is only the old version based on the classic line. So you find the classic machine with a new Primo label. But in future, or in the next few years or months, we will have only blue machines, only with a new own design. Yeah? The same logic in the list again. Yeah? So you can take your list when you want. You can print it out when you need it, for example. Yeah? Now we come to the power line machine. You see this one is also a little bit older machine coming from the classic line, but it's also a 3-phase machine. And the most important machine, I think, is the FA400, and now also the FA500.3. Yeah? And I think it's also machines which you have here in your showroom, and you have it also in the market. I heard it from you. Here also a list which kind of security level we have here. So you see here P2, 3, 3, and also we have now a machine by FA500 in P5. It means P5, we are only able to shred P5 with a unit with 2 cutting units. So we have in the same machine, the same covering, you can find a machine with 1 cutting unit. Yeah, and from outside you see no different. And when we choose P5, then we have 2 units. Yeah, I think you don't know the machine with 2 units. You only don't know the machine with 1. You don't have them, yeah. Okay.
That's cool though.
Be happy that you don't have it, because it's not easy for a technician to change then the cutting units.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
When you want to change a cutting unit, the first cutting unit, you have before replaced the second cutting unit, and then you can lift up the first one,
So
because they are connected with one screw.
are they driven together
No, they have a separate motor. Separate motor. Each unit have a separate motor.
Interesting.
Okay. So here some details, but I think it's clear for you. You have here the table, and you can adapt additional table on the left hand or on the right hand side to make it easier to work with them, for example. And here we will find, or I will show you, the possibilities of the combinations. You see here the SP4040V, for example. SP means shred press combination, yeah, SP. And the first numbers, the 40, coming from the FA400, the first numbers, and the next 40 come from the KP40. And V means vertical press. So the KP40 press the material from the top to the bottom side, yeah, internal of a cupboard or a frame with a plastic sack. Both are possible. And the next one is a combination with the FA500. I find also then two machines, FA500 plus KP80. And then we create a SP, shred press combination 5080. Yeah? And so you find the machine FA500, and under the machine you find the horizontal press KP80. KP80, for example, is a press which we press the material against the counterplate. Yeah, and when we have bale ready, we have to open the counterplate via a hydraulic locking system, and then we can flap up the counterplate, and then we can press the material in a sack. And by SP5088, we have the smallest channel baling press. Yeah? This is the same principle, this channel baling press, the same principle as you find by the big VK press. Yeah? So we have a channel, and internal the channel there's the material, fixed bales, strap bales, for example. And here's a hydraulic unit who reduce the cross section of the channel, and so they break the material internal the channel, so the material is not able to move during we are pressing the new material on the back side of the press, of the bale. Yeah? And then when we press the material on the back side, then we adapt, for example, 10 or 100 millimeters, yeah? And then when we reach the position and when we reach the maximal pressing power, yeah, then we open the channel, and then we are able to move the material. Yeah? And this is the principle of a channel baling press. Yeah? We will learn something about them in detail when we go on a machine. Yeah? Not only for you that we have three possibilities for combination. Yeah? Here, more in detail, you see here that internal is a cupboard, for example, and the material comes from a shredder over the slot here in the cupboard, and when we interrupted the light barrier internal, then the press starts automatically. Yeah? And when the press or the bale is finished, means the press ram is not able to come deeper, for example, then we get the information bale ready, then you can open the door and you can remove the cupboard. Yeah?
So will it stop the shredder while it's compressing?
No, when the bale is compressing, you can continue shred.
Okay.
Yeah?
It just waits to feed into the baler until it's okay.
Yeah. So the situation by the KP80, you see here, this is the counterplate, and when the bale ready signal appears, then we have to stop. Yeah, because we have to remove the bale. Then we have to unlock the door here, the small hydraulic cylinder with a two-hand operation. We have to unlock them, and then you have to flap the door by hand to the bottom, and then you can press, or have to press, out the material in this plastic sack. It's not possible to strap them, you can only press them in a sack. Yeah? And then you see here the sack, you can bend them then and fix them on a Euro pellet. Euro pellet is a little bit different as your wooden pellet here in America. Yeah? But we have fixed the dimensions that two pails can be fixed on a Euro pellet. And this is the general baling press, the KP88. Some details, I think here it's not so important for you. The pressing force is 8 tons, for example. But the most important thing is that we have a bale with a dimension 500 by 500, and the length of the bale is variable. Yeah, so you can adjust, for example, 500, 550, 600. We can see how it works in the display. You can choose how long the bale should be. Maximum 950 is possible. Here we say, okay, maximum 600. But the display allowed you to increase the bale up to 950. Yeah, but it makes sense to shorten them on 600. Yeah. Now we come to the next machine, the hard drive 230. I told you that it's now a new machine. No, new, I think we have them 2 years now. And here you see the 2-stage machine. And here by HSM in the showroom, we will find the 1-stage machine. 1 stage means, or single level means we create or we crush the hard drives in pieces by 20 to 30 up to 50 millimeters. And though we have H4 security level, and with the 2-level stage we have smaller piece 10 by 25 up to 30 millimeter, and then we call them H5. Yeah? Here you see the result, H4 and here H5. The reduction or the reproduction of the data stores is improvable. Yeah? So you can be sure that all data which was on this data are destroyed forever. Yeah? But hard drives also. Yeah? Okay. Do we have more material sometimes? I think then you need bigger machines. So we have bigger machines. One is the duo shredder. Duo means we have 2 stages, 1 or 2, and also here 1 and 2. This is mistake in the picture. Duo shredder means we have the capacity, maximum capacity of 800 kilogram each hour in security level P3. You remember P3 means 320 square millimeters. And now, because the new DIN, a lot of customers called us, is possible to get the machine in P4. And now we developed a new cutting unit where we can cut all this material in P4, but then we reduce the capacity from 800 to 500 kilogram each hour. And when we want to shred with P4, it's necessary that we have a frequency controlled system. You know, frequency controlled means in America we have 60 hertz in our system. 60 hertz means by a 2-pole motor that the motor is turning with 60 turnings each second, by 60 seconds, 3,800 turnings each minute. Yeah, and we have sometimes, in this case, we have a 4-pole motor, then we reduce the turning of 1,800. But it's a fixed running. Yeah, each minute 1,800 turnings. And we have a gear inside, but the running of the cutting unit is every time the same. And now we can control the speed with reduce the frequency or increase the frequency. So we can speed them up and lowering or slow them. Yeah? It's very important because when we have here a cutting unit with the cutting size P4, then we measure the electricity internal the system, and we have here a high consumption, electricity consumption, then the cutting unit is just before jamming. And in this case, we have to reduce the speed of the cutting unit before. So we reduce the hertz from 60, for example, of 50. And so the cutting unit before drives a little bit slowlier, and the material volume reduce also. And then the next cutting unit don't jump. So we have to control each time this one and this one. And also when we have a high consumption in the first unit, then we can also reduce the speed of the conveyor belt. And so we can reduce the material capacity, yeah? And it's only necessary by P4. P3 runs with normal turnings, yeah? But P4 is a little bit more critical for jamming in the last unit, yeah?
Those adjustments, are they automatic or do you have to?
Yeah, they're automatically, yeah? They measure the consumption, energy consumption in ampere, yeah? And when the ampere is going higher, then it's indeed that the cutting unit is just before jamming. They have to work too hard, yeah? And then, you know, there's too much material in this cutting unit, and then they have to slow reduce the running speed of the cutting unit before. Yeah? And although we have this system by our ZShredder, but now we have 3 stages which we have to control, and we have also the ZShredder with P3 with normal motors. The motors are every time normal, the same motors, but without frequency control. But when also the customer want to have the smaller particle size and the higher security level, then we have to have frequency control in the machine. And here is a little bit more complicated. So we have to control all over the machine. We have 1 motor, and each cutting unit have 2 motors. So we have 6, 7 motors, which we have to control in the energy consumption. And we want to have 1,250 kilogram each hour. So we have to control when some of this unit run very easy with a low capacity, energy capacity, low ampere. Then we can also speed up the units for bring more material inside. And when we have a high consumption, then we have to lowering the speed of the cutting unit before. So it's a control of each unit together, yeah? So we can speed up or lowering the speed of the motor and so the cutting units. It's a very complicated system, but it works automatically. But we have installed only few units, and our technician, electrical technician, was on site by the customer and make the adjustment directly on site, yeah? So it's not so easy, yeah?
Because all that would change with power from the actual building. So you'd have to adjust to the building, right?
I'm not sure if it's just to the building. Normally the building have a constant power from the net coming inside with 208 voltage and 60 hertz. It's only the hertz is important for this, yeah? And they have constant 60 hertz in Germany, and other countries they have 50 hertz. So the hertz is very constant in your official net, and we only can change the hertz up and down. Yeah? Okay. We will find this frequency control system also by the big baling presses. Because when we learn something about hydraulic, then we learn that when a motor is running with a fixed speed, yeah, for example, then also the pump is running in the same speed. And then we have every time the same volume of oil. Yeah? And sometimes we need not so much oil because we have big cylinders in the machine, we have small cylinders in the machine. Yeah? When we have a big cylinder, we need a lot of oil for move the cylinder very fast. But when we have small cylinder, we don't need so much volume of the, And by old machines, we bring the volume over a valve back in a tank. But we need consumption to produce the volume. Yeah? And then we don't need it, and we bring it in the tank. So we invest money for the electrical consumption for volume, which we don't need. And the new machine control the frequency and control the oil volume. And when we need a lot of oil, we increase the frequency by the big machine. And when we need only a few volume, for example, for the insertion cylinder, there are small cylinders, then we need only a few oil, then we reduce the speed of the machine. And so we don't produce, or we don't need electric consumption only for circulate the oil, for example. Huh. And so we reduce the electric consumption by such big machine up to 40% with the frequency control system. Wow. Yeah? And so we have a return on investment. It's a little bit more expensive, but we have a return on investment by the big machine internal 2 years. Huh. Yeah? But you have them only by the big VK, not by the small V presses. Yeah? Okay, cutting paper with, it's possible with a swirl, yeah, or possible with a cutting unit from HSM. So we have different cutting machines. We have 2 rotary trimmers and 2 guillotine models, and we have 1 stuck cutter. I'm not sure if you know all them. Yeah, okay. This one is produced by HSM, yeah, and this models we also buy by our partner in China. Yeah, and so we have no replacements on that. We have no spare parts from this part. We sell them and hope they work for a long time. Okay. Now, safety pack for shipment with HSM. You know the machines. We have here our 2 Profipack models. The smaller one with normal voltage, 1 phase, 110 voltage here, or 120? 120. 120 here, and 400 or 208 in America. Yeah? 3 phase or 1 phase. So we can produce our packaging material with old cardboard, which our customer shipped us in our stock. Yeah? And so it makes sense when you get a lot of cardboard inside or coming from our supplier, then when we need such packaging material, then it makes sense, such a machine. Yeah? Now we will come to the baling presses. Reduce volume and transport material cost effective is the most goal by all baling presses. So we have this kind of cupboards all over the customers by our supermarket chains, for example. Every product is stored and delivered in such cupboards, for example. And it's possible to bring them in a container, but you have a big volume but a less weight. Yeah? And our goal is to compress this material in a bale, and then you can bring the bale on a truck. And I told you in the beginning, the goal is to fulfill the maximum capacity and weight, 24 tons in German trucks. Do you know how high is the maximum weight on American trucks? You don't know? I think sometimes when I see them on the road are a little bit bigger. But in Germany, we have the maximum load with 24 tons. Yeah? And you see here, we have, for example, bales from week 86. So we can bring 3 bales. Yeah? And though it fits 375 by 3, then we have the weight, the height under 2.40 meters. Yeah? Okay. In this case, for example, we have a bale from a V-press 1160. So we have a size of 1.20 meters by 1.10 meters deep and 1.20 meters high. And though we can fulfill this lorry by 2.40 meters, and the length is 13.5 meters approx, and then we can bring in 44 bales, and then we reach the maximum weight of 24 tons. Yeah? And this is the goal of our customer, to reduce the transport costs each ton. The lorry and the driver have the same cost if we transport 10 or 24 tons. Yeah? And so we want to fulfill this. And sometimes customer called us and said, our bale weight is too light. We only get 22 tons on a lorry. Then our technical have to go inside and replace or make some resettings that we get the most possible weight of a bale. Okay. This is an overview of all our V-presses. We start with press 60, V-press 60. It's the own press who make no problem because it's own press you work by hand, or you can operate by hand. Here we have no hydraulic system, we have no electricity. Yeah? And this is a machine we don't produce by HSM, we sell them from a other company. Yeah? But it makes sense for additional in some factories or in some stores. They have a little bit foil, and this machine is only created for compact foil. So the machine is movable, so you can go with the machine to the place where the foil come in. Yeah? Then you bring the foil in the machine, compress them with your own muscles and strap them. And then you get a bale, for example, with a weight of 40 kilogram. But I will give you more detail a little bit later. Then we have here the first press, V-press 504 or 503. The 503 is forecast information because we are developing this smaller machine. Yeah? And then we go to the 6 group, 6, 8, 8, and then we come here to this bigger version, 840, 860, 1160. In this group, you can strap the bale with wire, or you can adapt an option with a tape station, and there you can decide each bale if you want to strap them with wire or will you strap them with tape. By this group, you only can strap the bale with tape. Yeah? And by these machines, we are also talking about a bale who is mill size, who have mill size, for example. So you can sell this bale directly to the paper mill. Paper mill need, in Germany, for example, need a weight of maximum 430 kilogram. Bale with less weight, they don't accept. Yeah? And the paper mills only want bales strapped with wire because they can pull out the wire with a magnet then. Yeah, so it's advantage for them. And then they have tape. It's not so easy to sort the tape out of the paper. Yeah. We have some options. So we have, see here, the Eco version is the entrance version. It's a normal machine with 2 doors. So we have only 1 door for open the filling area or the press chamber. Yeah. Then the next one, and here we have a normal hand wheel for lock the door. The next one have also a hand wheel, but we have a sliding door. Sliding door means the door opens automatically, yeah? And so you come to the press and the press is ready for filling, yeah? In this case, you have to open the door before, yeah? So it's an advantage. And the next one is the Max, beginning with the V-press 840. So we have here a hydraulic door lock system, yeah? Makes sense when you have expensive material, then it's easier to lock the door and open the door with the hydraulic system. Otherwise, you have to turn the wheel with very hard power. Yeah? And here, in this case, you can open them with 2-hand operation, and it opens them by hydraulic power. And we have also here the sliding door, and we have an option to cover the top. The toppers look not so nice. You have a lot of cylinder, a lot of hoses, and so on. And those only optical covering, not more. Yeah. So here you have an overview of all the presses. You see here 6, 5, 6T, 5, 6, 8, and 11. The first numbers means this is the dimension of the press chamber deep. Yeah. By 5, we have a press chamber deep of 500. Here we have 600 deep. Here we have approx 800, exactly 780 deep. Yeah? And in this case, we have 1100 deep. The press chamber deep means when we bring out the bale, it's the height of the bale. Yeah? Because we turn the bale out, and the deep of the bale, you see here, there's a deep of the bale before, and we turn the bale outside, then it's the height of the bale. Yeah? And here you find the number 2. Here you find the pressing force. So when you see 504, you find here 40 kilonewton or 4 tons pressing force. And then we come here to the next one. We have 60, 860. Then we have approx 60 tons or 600 kilonewton. Exactly 532, but approx 600. Okay? And this next one is the version, all the options in the machine, yeah, which you can choose. Then we have some special machines by the 860. Normally, we need the machine for compacting cardboard or for compacting foil. There we have two options, two programs. We can choose foil or we can choose cardboard. Sometimes customers want to compact PET bottles, PET, plastic bottles, or they want to compact TV housings or PC housings, so hard material, hard plastic, for example. And the problem is when we bring pressure on a cupboard, it's easy. The cupboard take the pressure to the cupboard downwards. Yeah? So it's very easy to compact cupboard. When we compact foil or when we compact, for example, hard plastic, the pressure goes outside because the material is sliding on once. Yeah? And though we give the pressure from the top to down and the material try to go to the side walls. And though we have a lot of pressure to the side walls, and though we have reinforced this machine inside, backwards, also reinforced in the door. Yeah, because there's a lot of pressure then to all sides. Yeah? And then when we want to compact this kind of special material, we need special machines. Yeah? It's the same machine, the same hydraulic and so on, but the side walls are reinforced. You will see some technical drawings a little bit later. And this is a special machine, but not able to sell them in in USA, because here we have a machine. You see here the bars on the door, and then we copy this bars into the bale, and then we flip out the bale. Then we have a hole under in the bottom side of the bale, and then you can go with a forklifter or with a hand truck lifter, yeah. And then you can move the bale without wooden pallet. But the dimensions of the American hand truck lifter is a little bit different. We took some videos or some photos yesterday, so it's not possible to change the dimensions here. They are fixed, welded on the door. And then you need a special American version. Yeah. Okay, it's possible, yeah. But then we need new door and also new breastplates, because the space is also in the breastplate. Yeah? Yeah. But when you have a market here, I think we can do it. Okay, and all these special reinforced versions, P, S, and L, have always a hydraulic door lock system, because the material is very expensive and we want to open a door. It's not possible to do it by a hand wheel, so you need the force of the hydraulic system. Yeah? These are the bales, for example, and these are the possible weights which you can create with this machine with the 860 S, P, and L, or the normal version. Yeah? Now we have a special machine only for compact barrels. We have also an example here in your stock. Yeah? Yes. This is a very simple machine. Bring in the barrel, close the door, press downwards, and one stroke, and then the machine is ready, and the barrel is flat. Yeah? So we have a simple control panel, only down and up, not more. Yeah? We have here some needles who perforate the barrel before that the air is able to come out. Yeah? There's also a special machine, a little bit older construction. There's a machine with a two chamber here, and we have one pressing head, and it's possible to fill this one chamber with cardboard, for example, and the other one with foil, and we can move the press head from one to the other chamber, and we can compress with one pressing unit in two chambers. Yeah? But now the V-presses are so cheap, it's better to buy two machines. A smaller one and the bigger one depends on your capacity foil, while the most customers have not so much foil. And though it's also the situation that a lot of customers buy a V-press 860, for example, and then they buy only a V60, a hand machine for compacting the foil. And then they produce a foil bale with approx 40 kilogram. They store them on site, and once they produce a big bale foil with 10 balers from the 60, bring the balers to the V8060, bring in the 40 kilogram bale, cut off the lines, and then compact 10 bales up to a bale with 400 kilogram. So that's what a lot of customers do in this case. In the past, they had such machines. Yeah? Yeah, we have not only cardboard or not only foil. Sometimes we have a heavy, expensive or a heavy compressible and expensive material. For example, such material, form material, you can press it and it come back in the original form. Yeah? And also mattress, you can press it and when you lose the pressure, it comes in the original form. Or also such insulation material, all the same situation. And a very special group of material are used car tires, for example. And in the market you see there are a lot of car tires. Yeah? And for this case we have a special machine. It's a horizontal press. We call them HL3521S, or normal, or without, or with S. And you see here in this machine we have very aggressive return clasps, for example, movable return clasps. So we compress the material in the front side and these clasps flipped back and then they come out again. And so we have the possibility that the material stay in the front part of the press. This press is controlled via laser curtain. So when you close the flaps via hydraulic, yeah, you see here the hydraulic cylinder. In your stock we have the smaller version, there you can close the flaps by hand, and so it's your problem when you hurt your fingers. But in this case you should be stand outside when you close the flaps with the hydraulic power. And though the curtain makes sure that when you go inside this curtain the press stops directly. Yeah? And based on this machine, we have a special machine only for compact car tires. Yeah? So we have a chute here, and we can bring in the car tires via conveyor belt. It's special in France. They use this bale for produce energy. They bring them in the burning company and produce energy with the heat. Yeah? And this is very strong enforced based on this machine. And you see here also the door. We have only this line, and here you see the door and the side walls, and all the components are reinforced for compressing the car wheels or the car tires. And also inside of the machine are wear-resistant material. It's called Hardox. You know Hardox? Hardox is a brand. We produce metal sheets which are wear-resistant or hard-resistant. Yeah? Yeah. And though we complete covered the machine inside with this special wear-resistant material.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is, I think it's a special market in France for compact tires. So here we will find some smaller horizontal press. This one we will find outside. Yeah, we have it in your stock. I think it's a product for sale here in the US market. Yeah, this is same principle as we find by the bigger version, because we have to close the filling flaps by hand, and we have also here a hydraulic system, a hydraulic door. Open the door when the bale is ready. In this case, also by the bigger one, we have to strap the bale with wire, by hand with wire, or alternative with tape. Yeah, there's no automatic strapping system. We only be able to strap them with a wire. We have a quick link, fixed length quick link wire, for example. It's very easy. The bale ready appears, and then you insert the wire, and then you have a quick link with 2 holes, and you can click them together and it fixes. Yeah? Or it's possible in this case that you have a tape station here, you see here behind, so you can also strap the bale with tape. And this one looks very close to the first machine from Hermann Trilling. You see the red one, the green one in the first slide. Yeah? And this is the machine. You know, this is old construction, but it works. Yeah? And when the customer wants a very cheap version and a simple version, it works. The disadvantage by this horizontal press is you need a big footprint. Yeah? And it's the same situation. Normally you can lift up the machine and then you have a vertical press. Yeah? The same result by the press, for example, but a smaller footprint. The difference is here you can fill the material from the top, and by the V-press you have to fill the material from the front side. This is the different. Yeah? But so I think this is not the biggest market now. The bigger markets are the V-presses. Yeah? This is a special press. I told in the break time, I told you a little bit our big supermarket chain Lidl, and we developed this machine explicit for Lidl. You see here, these are the collecting trolleys where the ladies go in the market and put in the empty boxes, and then they go in the stock and fix the trolley in the machine. Then they have a two-hand operation, and you see here they lift the whole trolley with one stroke and empty in the press chamber. And here inside we need a very long press stroke because we press the material up to this contact plate here, and so we need normally a long stroke for the with the cylinder, and normally the cylinder looks outside here, and because we don't have enough place in Lidl stores, so we have a special construction, I told you, with 3 cylinder, first stage and then the second stage. Yeah? But this machine, yeah, we sell them with a lot of them. We sell them to Lidl, but it's possible also for other companies, other customers to buy this machine. But in the moment, the most of them goes only for the Lidl chain. Yeah? Now we will come to the big versions. So we call them VK. VK means in German voll in German, full automatical baling presses. Full automatical means that we compact the material come in, we have a conveyor belt, we have a start system with light barriers, for example, then the machine starts automatically, and we measure the bale length, and when we reach the adjust bale length, for example 1.20 meters, then the machine stops, and we strip the bale with wire full automatically. Yeah? So the operator have only control the main system, but he have to do nothing. Only react when there is a fault. Otherwise he can only work other things, fill in the material to the conveyor belt, for example. So here we have a lot of different material which we compact there. This machine are very often are located by disposal companies. Yeah? So we have a lot of different material, plastic, foil, paper, for example, form material, and so on. And it's a different situation each time. Yeah? Here is an overview, but this is not so interesting for you, and I will flip there a little bit quicker. Only important for you, we have machines for small material loads, and we have machines for heavy disposal loads. So we have a range from 36 cubic meter each hour up to approx 1100 cubic meter each hour. So we can imagine the range of different presses. Yeah? And on the next slide, you will see some machines. This is the machine which we have outside, is a KP, yeah? The smallest press. And then we will find here a lot of different presses. You see here the insertion cylinder. So this is a channel, and it works identical as the machine which we see a little bit later. And here are the insertion cylinder, and here are the wire station, and so it works automatically. Yeah? And now you see here the different machines, different bale size, and also different power, pressing force, and so the result of the bale weight increase also. Yeah? I go a little bit faster when you want. You have the details in your stick. Yeah? So these are special machines for the disposal companies. You see also we produce a red one. Yeah? This is one. The customer want to have the red one in combination with gray. It looks very fine. Yeah? And also here the blue one. Yeah? So as the customer want to have different colors. Here you see a disposal company. You see a huge material here, and they bring the material with a kind of not forklift, what's it called? A front loader, yeah, okay. Front loader internal to the conveyor belt. It's underfloor conveyor belt, and they only move the material with the front loader in this conveyor belt. And this conveyor belt is up to 2 meters wide, yeah. And you can think about how many capacity you can fill in this conveyor belt. And then this conveyor belt is connected to this hopper here. And then you see the bale come out, and every bale is strapped, yeah, and then they bring them with a forklifter on the. Okay, here you will see some things about the frequency controller. I told you that we have frequency controller by the VK, so we can reduce, for example, the drive power from for example here 55 kilowatt to 45 kilowatt with the same performance from the machine. So when we need a lot of volume of the oil, then we have this motor and we can speed them up in the frequency, and so we can produce more volume. Yeah? And so we can reduce, so we see here 180 and here only 150 kilowatt. So we reduce the energy consumption, and so we save money by working every day. Okay. So here's a special press. This is a briquette press for make briquettes with from plastic bottles, for example. So we have 3 chambers. The first one is compacting the material in this way. Then we compact the material in this way, and the last stroke comes from the back side. And then we press the material in this small press channel, and we reduce them on 25 to 25. Very hard briquettes. And the briquettes is good as a stone, yeah, you see it, yeah, and it's not necessary to strap them, yeah, you can put them away, yeah, and so we have the most possible reduction of the volume, yeah. It's only developed for paper for plastic bottles. This is a PET crusher, yeah. We told you something about this is a PET perforator. When you want to compact empty bottles, empty plastic bottles, you have to perforate the bottles, because when you want to compact them, the air should become out. When you have air inside the bottles, then you have a problem. You strap the bale, and then you bring them out on the house, and the sun will increase the temperature of the air, and then the bale will crack. Yeah. So then we have the dewatering machine. I told you something about. Here you see the machine with a hydraulic cylinder, for example, and the next one have internal screw, but it's the same. Here come in the wet material, the wet labels, and we press out the fluid and bring them back for cleaning, and then it's able to use the fluid, the cleaning fluid once again. And in this way, we press out the labels, and so we get paper, yeah, bale, small bale. The next machine is only for repress or for press out refilled material. For example, refilled beer bottles or juice bottles, for example, aluminum cans, or refilled yogurt bottles, for example, or refilled plastic bottles with juice and so on. Refilled means wrong labels or anything on, yeah? It's refilled and it's not able to sell this product to the market. And then also Tetra Pak, so we can split the packaging material and the fluid with this machine, yeah? The fluid normally comes to the biogas companies, and so they produce energy with the fluid, and the material goes to a company, the waste company, yeah? Okay. Some part here, I will show you a video a little bit later. Yeah, and also we will show you a video from this machine a little bit later. There are some special machines for compact full or refill bottles or empty bottles, yeah, only for PET.
We think that one's going to be a big thing here.
You have this machine also here, yeah? I have a video from this machine, and we can see a video a little bit later. Okay.
Thank you.